Welcome aboard, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here, your steadfast advocate for health, welcoming you to another live production of Fire Your MD Now. That's right, Fire Your MD Now. Today is the 5th day of August, 2013, the 5th day of August, 2013. Welcome aboard, folks. Welcome aboard, welcome aboard. You know, you don't know what you don't know, and this goes for yours truly as well. I was relaxing this weekend, watching a Nova program. Remember that TV show Nova? Well, guess what? It's still here, produced out of Boston, the Boston Public Broadcasting Service, Channel 2, I think it is, in Boston. In any event, Nova, it was a special on the Earth from space, and it was awesome. I have to tell you something, if you can find it, I don't know what kind of TV setup you have, if you can find it, do some type of a search for the Nova Earth from Space. It was a fantastic program. I learned a lot of stuff that I didn't know. First of all, at the very bottom of the food chain on good old planet Earth is a little microorganism called phytoplankton. Phytoplankton are at the very bottom of the food chain. If the phytoplankton die, everything else dies. That's the long and the short of it. If the phytoplankton die, everything else die. They are at the very base of the food chain. And the phytoplankton bloom. They bloom. They reproduce in these momentary bursts of activity called plankton blooms. And there are a number of factors which can set off a plankton bloom. And when the plankton bloom, the fish come from everywhere. The little fish eat the plankton. The medium-sized fish eat the little fish. The bigger fish eat those fish. The humans eat the biggest fish, and so forth and so on. One of the leading causes of the plankton bloom is a deposition into the water. Not the deposition into the water. Well, you could say deposition. It is the propulsion into the water of minerals from underneath the Earth's crust. You know, the Earth's crust is always moving, and there's a giant magma well underneath the Earth's crust. And at the very bottom of the ocean, on the seabed floor, there are cracks in the seabed floor, like little volcanoes or even big volcanoes underwater, where the hot lava, the hot magma is spewing up from beneath the Earth's surface. It comes up through the ocean's floor, it hits the water, it bursts into steam immediately, and you get these big smokestacks underwater that are pumping out millions of gallons of minerals a minute. Millions of gallons of minerals a minute. These minerals from deep within the Earth's core, they're not vitamins, they're not amino acids, they're not essential fatty acids. They are minerals. These minerals mix with the ocean water. They're carried by the currents up to higher levels and higher levels till they reach near the surface. And when they reach near the surface, guess what? The plankton explode, because the plankton are fed by the minerals. Minerals are at the very basis of human existence. Minerals, things like calcium and magnesium and zinc and phosphorus, but it doesn't stop there. Plankton, of course, whether they're a plant or an animal, have a short little lifespan, and if the plankton aren't eaten up by fish or other mammals swimming through the ocean, like whales, baleen whales, right? If the plankton aren't eaten up, they have a short little lifespan, and when they die, what do? Well, they follow the laws of nature, and they drop back through the ocean water, and they litter the seabed. The seabed has miles of dead phytoplankton lining the bottom, like dirt. Miles and miles of dead phytoplankton lining the bottom of the Earth's oceans. Now, the Earth's oceans aren't always oceans. For instance, the Sahara Desert in northern Africa, the Sahara Desert, which covers 1/10 of the continent of Africa, 1/10 of the continent of Africa, the Sahara Desert used to be an ocean. It used to be an ocean. Parts of the Sahara Desert used to be under the water. And guess what they have found in the sands of the Sahara Desert? That's right, old, dead, decomposed phytoplankton. And guess what is left when the phytoplankton decay? The minerals. The minerals that the phytoplankton sucked up and ate in order to reproduce can't be degraded. Minerals are things like gold and silver and zinc, and those things can't be degraded by natural processes, for goodness sake. So, much of the sand of the Sahara Desert is rich in microscopic amounts of minerals, and guess what happens? As the winds, the prevailing winds that are around planet Earth all of the time wash over the Sahara Desert, they pick up the sand and they carry the sand all the way across the Atlantic Ocean and deposit the minerally rich sand from the Sahara Desert, guess where? The Amazon Basin. The Amazon Basin, the largest jungle on planet Earth, thick with foliage. When the sand from the Sahara Desert is deposited in the Amazonian Basin, which is once a year, there is a tremendous upsurge of vegetation in the Amazon. It triples. The amount of vegetation triples in the Amazon when it is exposed to the sand fertilization from the Sahara Desert. And what is the leading mineral component? Phosphorus. Phosphorus, the leading mineral component given to the Amazon Delta, the Amazon Basin from the Sahara Desert. Where did the Sahara Desert get the minerals from? The phytoplankton. Where did the phytoplankton get the minerals from? Good old Mother Earth. Where I'm going with all of this, well, those of you who are initiated already know. My colleague, mentor, and friend, Dr. Joel Wallach, the founder of the Longevity Company, years ago, well, Dr. Wallach is considered the mineral doctor. Dr. Wallach is considered the mineral doctor because he has been talking about the intimate relationship between adequate levels of trace minerals in the human body and life itself, and optimizing human health itself. We need 60 minerals, 60 essential minerals in order to survive and thrive. 60 minerals in order to survive and thrive. If you lack a mineral, it's only a matter of time until something starts to break. And, you know, Linus Pauling, one of my most favorite quotes from Linus Pauling, I'm going to pull it up now and post it right here if you're watching on Google Hangout. I'm going to post it right now. Let me pull this up. Linus Pauling, you can trace every sickness, every disease, and every ailment to a mineral deficiency. Let's say that one more time. You can trace every sickness, every disease, and every ailment to a mineral deficiency. That's not Dr. Wallach. That's two-time Nobel Prize winner Linus Pauling. So inquiring minds want to know if you can, in fact, trace every sickness, every disease, and every ailment to a mineral deficiency, if minerals are intimately necessary, intimately related, and fundamentally necessary for the very survival of the species itself. If minerals are at the very foundation of the food chain in the world, then why isn't medical science researching the relationship between minerals and health like a crazy person? Why aren't they focused on that? Like, you know, why aren't they focused on that? Because science is old-fashioned, outdated, and they look at the world askance. They look at the world through old glasses, and they don't even know they have these glasses on. They are reductionists. They don't care about how all of the parts affect the whole. They have no relationship to the phrase, as above, so below. They believe that your body is a biochemical happenstance that just happened by some evolutionary fiat. Years and years ago, your body just came together in some evolutionary soup that just all of a sudden happened, and nothing is related to anything. We're basically on our own. And the only time you can do anything about your health is by giving your body man-made synthetic prescription medications. This is the MD's whole thing. Once you're sick, you're screwed. Your body does not have the ability to fix itself. And your only option is to march in and let the MD deliver to your body a symptom-suppressive man-made synthetic drug, which is sold to you for a profit. For goodness sake. As above, so below. These words are as true now as they always have been. Minerals are at the very foundation of human existence. Now, it would be great, wouldn't it, if we could raise $1 trillion like we did, or $600 billion of research on minerals like we did on research on cancer? If we raised that kind of money for research on minerals, there wouldn't be any more cancer. Instead, we give the research money to the people that don't even know how to cure heartburn to come up with a cure for cancer. Medical doctors can't even cure heartburn, and yet we've given them $600 billion to come up with a cure for cancer. Guess why there's no cure for cancer? Because we've taken the wrong dog to the hunt. These people are ideologues basing their medical theories on old-fashioned, outdated Newtonian reductionistic physics. And reductionistic physics is great for buildings and for automobiles and, for mathematics, but not so great for living, breathing organisms like plants or animals or you or me. Ladies and gentlemen, minerals are at the very foundation of life. And don't worry, because we don't need to raise trillions of dollars to do more research. All that we need to do is rely on the one fundamental naturopathic supposition. Your body knows how to fix itself. Your body knows how to fix itself. Naturopaths refer to this in fancy schmancy doctor lingo as the vis medicatrix naturae. The vis medicatrix naturae, the inherent healing power present in every living organism. We don't need to figure out which biochemical pathway to press. We don't need to figure out which biochemical pathway to suppress. All we need to figure out is which minerals are necessary for health, how to deliver them to the body in an absorbable form, and how much you need to take. We don't nitpick things. We just give your body all of the essential nutrients that it needs, including the minerals. Stop eating food that's gumming up the works. Get the heck out of the way and let the healing begin. Ladies and gentlemen, you want to heal your body, you want to support and promote your body's ability to fix itself, pick up a bottle of Longevity Minerals. 866-582-9933. Give me a shout. Answering your phone calls when we come back. I am Dr. Peter Glidden. Stick around. By the way, this is not new information. If you're watching on the Google Hangout, which you can access through my YouTube channel, just go to YouTube and type in Dr. Peter Glidden. That's Dr. Peter Glidden. That's Dr. Peter Glidden. You can watch it live. You can also just go to the front page of my website and watch it there. That's easier. FireYourMDNow.com. FireYourMDNow.com if you want to see the video stuff that I'm posting while we do the live broadcast. Lacking vitamins, the system can make use of minerals. Lacking minerals, vitamins are useless. Lacking vitamins, the system can make use of minerals. Lacking minerals, vitamins are useless. This from 1935, Senate document number 264, after an exhaustive research program done on the relationship between medical nutrition and human health. That's 1935, folks, 1935. Let me read it to you once more. Lacking vitamins, the system can make use of minerals. Lacking minerals, vitamins are useless. We've known this for, ever. This is low, 65 and 13. That's 98 years. We've known this for 98 years, but still, the pharmaceutical industry and the American Medical Association and your MD, whether you live in the United States or I don't care where you live, are not on board with this very fundamental concept because they're clueless about the relationship between medical nutrition and human health. I mean, for goodness sake, enough is enough. It's time to fire your medical doctor because not only do they have nothing for you therapeutically if you're suffering with a chronic disease, but their diagnostic skills ain't that great either. But, you've heard me say this a million times. Let's take it to the phones right now. Let's go straight to New Jersey and talk to John. Hey, John. Thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hey, Dr. Glidden. How are you?
Pretty good, John. Which exit in New Jersey, by the way?
On the turnpike you're talking about?
That's right.
11.
Exactly. Everybody lives off the turnpike in New Jersey. What's going on?
Had a question. How many people have you had a chance to run across and seen adrenal fatigue or almost exhaustion to where they couldn't even get up till like the middle of the day, and
well, lots. Tons. My office, the person in charge of my IT, Ashley James, who lives in Seattle with her husband Duffy, she couldn't get out of bed until noon for a number of years, and then she had a couple of hours of energy. She was about 180 pounds overweight. There was a lot of trouble there, and within 3 days of taking the nutritional supplements, there was a remarkable turnaround in her energy, and then everything else started to fall into place. You want to bring tears to your eyes, listen to her testimony. Now, the other thing is, a couple things I want to say about this, John. Number one, the most common complaint that people bring to a doctor's office is, Doc, I don't have enough energy. And that is the most commonly reported complaint. It is the biggest reason that people go to the doctor. Doc, I got no energy. Now, if 99 people who didn't have enough energy went to a naturopathic doctor, well, if 100 people who didn't have enough energy went to a naturopathic physician, 99% of the naturopathic physicians would tell the patient that they have adrenal fatigue. Adrenal fatigue has become a garbage can diagnosis in the naturopathic holistic community. Adrenal fatigue has become a garbage can diagnosis in the naturopathic community. Now, adrenal fatigue does exist. By the way, the man that invented the word stress, Hans Selye, you want to do some historical investigation, do a Google search for Hans Selye, S-E-L-Y-E. He wrote a book years ago called The Stress of Life, and he took laboratory rats, or it might have been mice or rats, I can't remember, but he shocked them and stressed them out. I forget how he did it, but then he'd do autopsies before and after he stressed the rats out, their adrenal glands had shrunken. And so Hans Selye related being overstressed to physiological function. He was the first doctor to outline that stress, physical stress or psychological stress, could in fact affect organ systems. Holy smokes, it made the adrenal glands shrink. Now, why did the adrenal glands shrink? Well, because they were being called upon by the body to work and 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 to work because of all of the stress. The adrenal glands respond to stress. But, it's not so much the stress, it can be, if it's a significant amount, but it's the raw materials that the adrenals have or don't have in order to be able to respond to the stress. Hans Selye didn't know anything about nutrition either. If those rats had been nutrified, their adrenals would not have shrunken until the stress was so big that, it would have broken the back of a rhinoceros. We're going to pick up this line of thought. It's very important. Stick around, John. I'm going to tell you how to get out of this, too, when we come back. Stick around, folks. I am Dr. Peter Glidden. This is Fire Your MD Now. Welcome back, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here with you with another live edition of Fire Your MD Now on the 5th day of August 2013. The 5th day of August 2013. And we always pride ourselves on the fact that we are international. We've got a guy named John Stevens watching us live from the UK, watching and listening to us live from the UK. A shout goes out to you for right now, I think, for being the furthest away viewer and listener. Let's give him a Fire Your MD Now. Round of applause. This is right out to you, John Stevens. And this is how we're going to change the world, ladies and gentlemen, one person at a time, worldwide, by the way, right here on the Genesis Communication Network, FireYourMDNow.com. We're talking to John from New Jersey about adrenal fatigue. John, are you still with me?
Yes, sir.
All right, John. So is it you that you're concerned about? Are you the person that's experiencing the fatigue, or was it just a general question?
I have a family member who's about 102 pounds, 73 years old. That's the main issue. No energy, loss of appetite. She also has low thyroid, hypothyroid, and osteoporosis, and prediabetes as well.
Okay, well, low thyroid, osteoporosis, and prediabetes are all arms of the same octopus, as is not enough energy, and that octopus, of course, is lack of nutritional supplements, lack of the raw materials that the human body needs in order to function optimally. I mean, your car can't run without, radiator fluid. It can't run without power steering fluid. It can't run without transmission fluid. It can't run without oil. You got to change the spark plugs. You got to change the spark plug wires. You got to make sure there's air in the tires and so forth and so on. And if you put the wrong fuel in the tank, man, if you put diesel fuel in an unleaded engine, it's going to run like crap, if it runs at all. Human body isn't any different. And, the human body has an amazing amount of resiliency to it, an amazing amount of resiliency. The average age of death of a homeless drug addict living on the street is in the early 50s. Homeless drug addicts can make it to their early 50s by completely abusing their bodies all of the time because, there's a little bit of nutrients in Wonder Bread. There's a little bit of nutrients in beer and whiskey, right? Your body can eke out 5 decades of life, not a very good life, not a very high quality of life, a very painful life, kind of a crazy psychological life, but nonetheless, the human organism wants to survive. So, if you're following a standard American diet and doing what your MDs tell you to, and you're drinking, water that's been okayed by your county, and there's sewage elimination in your town, and you have a couple of square meals every day, even if it's all the wrong stuff all the time, you can make it into your 70s because that's the average age of death in the United States. I believe it's 72.3 or something like that. Very close. So, however, the last 15, 20, 30 years of life aren't going to be that great because your health is going to start to deteriorate. But people look around, they see that the same thing is happening to everybody, and so they think it's just the way that it has to be. But the only people it's happening to are the people going to the MDs. The people that come to Youngevity have quite a different experience of their health, have quite a different experience of the quality of their life, because they're in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, and they're feeling great. They're going to sleep without sleep aids. They don't need pain medication. They don't need blood sugar medication. They don't need blood pressure medication. They're optimizing their body's ability to fix itself, not by magic, not by some happenstance, not by some good gene, but by science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition. So the first thing to do with anybody suffering from fatigue is to simply give them the Healthy Start Pack, appropriate for body weight, selenium, appropriate for body weight, and I would give 1 or 2 extra bottles of plant minerals. 1 or 2 extra bottles of plant minerals a month. Plus, anybody who's over, 60, suffering with not enough energy should get a digestive enzyme as well, because guaranteed, this guy for 70 years has been hammering his digestive tract unwittingly with all of the wrong foods all of the time, which prohibits his body or really reduces his body's ability to absorb anything, right? So digestive enzymes is a good add-on here, as are the plant-derived minerals on top of the Healthy Start Pack and elimination of the 10 bad foods. That is a very, very, very good place to start. Why don't you give it a try and call me back in about 3 weeks? California is up next. We're going from New Jersey to California to talk to Shirley. Hey, Shirley, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Thank you very much, Dr. Glidden. I'm calling about, I'm still being challenged. It's not as bad as it was, but with the depression that's been going on for years. And you said...
I remember you. Yeah. Okay, so how long's it been since our last conversation?
It's been about a month, but I started over 4 months ago. So I think originally it's been 2 or 3 months I got on the Sweeties, biogenetic instead of the SAM-E or the Smart FX, and I still am not seeing much headway. Should I start on the Smart FX from Dr.
Well, what I
Warren?
wanted to, the last time we talked, I told you to switch to the Sweeties and to increase the Sweeties. Is that right?
I'm doing that for several months. I've been doing the 444 Sweeties.
All right. What did I tell the very last time that we spoke? What did I tell you to increase?
I don't remember. You remember better than me.
Well, I talk to, I talk to hundreds of people a week, right. So, well, that's a lie, but I talk to a lot of people.
No, I did it for a week. I increased all this stuff.
Was there a positive change, or didn't you notice any difference in the week?
No, I called you back after that, and there really hadn't been, and you just said to keep going, because I'm evidently not absorbing this stuff. I'm doing all the stuff for bone on the hips.
So all right, so give me some good news. Since you have been following this program, what have you experienced improve?
Not really much. I'm starting to get a little less depressed, so I'm a little more cheerful. Part of that was going to my daughter's wedding up in Oregon and stuff. So,
yeah. So there hasn't been any recognizable change in energy or mood or bowel movements or digestion or sleep or anything like that?
No, actually, I'm sleeping worse right now. And what's the sweating at night? And what's the tingly toes that I've had for 5 years or 6, 7 years?
Well, it's impossible to diagnose stuff over the phone, right? The tingly toes, that can be caused by too high blood sugar over time. Tingly toes can be caused by a problem in one of the discs in your low back. Tingly toes can be caused by a blood pressure issue. There's a lot of things that can be causing that. The thing with medical nutrition, Shirley, the thing with medical nutrition is, and you've heard people call into this radio so all of the time, when people get on board with a science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition program and they clean up their diet, most people, the vast majority of people, within 90 days experience a noticeable, measurable, positive change within 90 days, a noticeable, measurable, positive change. And this is what gives us kind of inspiration to maintain the discipline and to keep moving forward, right? So given the fact that you've been doing this for over, 4 or 5 months and you haven't really experienced any positive change, the only possible conclusion that I can come to is that there has been some positive change, but you just haven't been aware of it. And I'm not trying to dodge the bullet. I can't tell you how many times this has happened to me in my private practice. It happens to most doctors, right? Someone will come in with a laundry list of complaints on their very first visit, and they'll read 10 things off. I have nightmares in the middle of the night. I have heartburn at 3 a.m. If I walk more than a quarter of a mile, my left knee starts to hurt. I've got high blood pressure. I've got spots all over my lower leg, et cetera, et cetera. And, these are all valid complaints that the people are bothered by, and so I'll put them on a program. And then 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks later, they come back for a follow-up visit, and I'll ask them, well, how are you doing? And they'll say, well, Doc, not a whole lot's changed. I don't really feel any better. And so I'll bring out their chart, and I'll go, well, all right, how about waking up in the middle of the night at 3 a.m. with bad heartburn? And they look up at me kind of sheepishly and say, oh, son of a gun, I forgot all about that. That's not happening anymore. Well, are you able to walk more than 100 yards now without your knee hurting? And they say, well, yeah, now I can walk all around the neighborhood. It's only if I try to walk around the neighborhood 3 times that my knee starts to hurt, or things like that. So the only possible thing here that I can imagine with you, Shirley, and anybody else that is experiencing less than satisfactory results is that stuff is happening so slowly that you've kind of forgotten it, that you've forgotten how bad things used to be, right? Or the only other possibility that you're just not absorbing things appropriately. So my recommendation to you, this is going to be the first time that I've ever recommended this to anybody. It's going to be the first time that I've recommended this to anybody. I'm going to recommend that for 3 weeks in a row, for the rest of August, you just stop taking all of the nutritional supplements completely. All nutritional supplements completely. And I think you might have called me on July 16th. I'm looking up in my records here. And didn't I tell you to take a detailed symptom history? Didn't I tell you to do that?
No, No, that doesn't sound familiar.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. But in any event, that's what I'd like you to do now. So what I'd like you to do now is make a list, Shirley, of everything that's bothering you and give it a score, like 1 to 10. 10 being, take me to the hospital right now, right? Or, shoot me right now. Don't take me to the hospital. 10 being like really bad. Make a list of all of your complaints and give each of them a score from 1 to 10. And for the rest of August, just stop taking the nutritional supplements completely. Refrigerate them so you can pick it up again in September. And then every week check in with your symptoms and see what happens. And then once your system has kind of cleared and you have, kind of a more realistic heads up on where you're at, then we can move forward again. And I'm going to bet you that once you stop taking the nutritional supplements, 2, 3, or 4 things are going to get worse. And that's going to pique your memory, and you're going to say, oh, holy smokes, I can't believe I forgot that. Or, oh, yeah, this is how it used to be all the time. Really, that's the only way we can judge this moving forward, because what we lean on here at Fire Your MD is people's subjective experience of their illness rather than, a lot of blood work and CT scans and DEXA scans and all of that stuff, right? So the first time I've ever recommended this, Shirley, stop the nutritional supplements for the rest of August. Make a detailed list of each of your symptoms, and once a week check in with yourself, give it a score. And then at the very beginning of September, give me a call back, and we'll talk about it. And I think at that point in time, we'll have a much clearer understanding of what's going on. Thanks, Shirley. Thanks for calling. I'm sorry that you're not getting any better. You are a rare individual here. We've got about a minute left, so I'm going to talk my way out of this segment, folks, and then we're going to go to Wyoming to finish it out here in the very first hour. Please visit the website, fireyourmdnow.com, fireyourmdnow.com. Click on the Longevity button and join our grassroots coalition of men, women, and, yes, children all around the world who are helping their friends and family members and church members to recover their health through the application of simple, holistic, science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition protocols. Healing is easy, folks. You've been duped by the pharmaceutical company to think it's a complicated nightmare. Surgery is complicated. Healing is easy. FireYourMDNow.com. Click on the Longevity button and join the cause. Stick around. Go into Wyoming when we come back. Welcome back, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here with you on the 5th day of August, 2013. Going to finish up the first hour with Jacob in Wyoming. Hey, Jacob. Thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Thank you for taking my call, Dr. Glidden. I have a grandparent who has a daughter who is 5'4", 212 pounds. Woo. She is 6 years old. She has
Whoa. So start that again. 5'4", how much did this person weigh?
212 pounds.
And how old are they?
16.
16 years old, 5'4", over 200 pounds. That's not good. Okay, keep going.
She has no asthma, no skin conditions. She has ADHD, silent seizures, learning disabilities, and hypothyroid.
Yeah, I would too, for goodness sake. And you want to know the question is what to do, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll tell you what to do, but a better question is WTF, man. I mean, this is an absolute drop-dead example of the failures of conventional medicine. Kids in their teens, they're 200 pounds, 5'2", must be the fat gene, right? And by the way, this person's not alone there. Their obesity is not their fault. This person is obese, not just overweight. Obesity is not their fault. They're not alone. 33% of our kids are overweight, and that's happened in the last 20 years. That's happened in the last 20 years. If it's genetic, why hasn't it happened all of the time? What is there suddenly a bloom in all of these genes for obesity? Well, where the heck did that come from? Number one. And number two, I thought the sick people, if for evolutionary purposes, were supposed to be culled from the herd. So how can it be genetic? And if it was genetic, why hasn't it been happening for the last, 3,000 years? Why is it just happening in the last 20? It's not genetic. If it were genetic, we wouldn't be able to reverse it. I can't change your sex with a nutritional supplement. I can't change the color of your eyes with a nutritional supplement. I can't change your nationality with a nutritional supplement. But as God is my witness, I can help you or anybody else to gain and maintain a normal, healthy body weight. It's easier to do that than falling off of a potato truck. Now, at my website, fireyourmdnow.com, I have over 80 hours of archived holistic health information, over 80 hours that you can have access to for $20 a month. $20 a month gains you access for 80 hours of really great holistic health recovery information. I've got slides, I've got statistics, we got PowerPoint presentations, man. We've got it all. It's right there. As a subscription holder, you have access to this. It's $20 a month. Check it out. Go to fireyourmdnow.com, click on the Online Health Recovery tab, scroll down to the bottom of the front page. It's all right there. And I bet you didn't know this, for free on my website, you can go to the archives of my radio show. That's free. Type in a keyword, and every time I've spoken about that thing, it pops right up. You know, July 17th, 3:35 p.m., Dr. Glidden talked about obesity, whatever, and you can listen to what I used to say, what I had to say. That's a pretty great thing. It's a pretty great resource, if I do say so myself. And we did it this way because, you know, there's only one of me, one of Dr. Wallach, and millions of people, right? So we have to have some type of an informational database that's easy for people to access. So check it out, folks. It's all right there for the taking at fireyourmdnow.com. That's fireyourmdnow.com. Man, oh man, I really like the way that sounds. Now, Jacob, let me tell you the long and the short of this one, because it's really a pretty easy thing to dial in here. All of these illnesses trace their roots back to nutrient deficiencies. So when we're helping somebody to gain and maintain optimal body weight, the recommendation is simple. Number one, eliminate the 10 bad foods. For the first month, eliminate the 10 bad foods and do 2 healthy start packs. In this person's case, it would be 2 healthy start packs and 4 bottles of selenium. 2 healthy start packs and 4 bottles of selenium a month. Continue that discipline for 90 days. Starting in month number 2 and month number 3, start a 1,200 calorie a day diet. 1,200 calories a day, but not until month number 2 and month number 3. 1,200 calories a day starting in month number 2 and month number 3, with 2 healthy start packs and 4 bottles of Ultimate Selenium every month. Eliminate the 10 bad foods and have this person call me back, or their parents call me back right around week 6. They are going to love how they feel, and so will you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm coming back with hour 2 after these messages. Stick around.